Bear here with If That's the Case, and today let's go over a VIVO, V-I-V-O, however you want to pronounce it, V00 case. Let's jump in. So one of my favorite things to do when I'm talking about a computer case is, of course, to go over how it actually looks and all connections on the front. So you got yourself a reset switch right on top with two USB 2.0s, your audio, and a single USB 3.0. Pretty nice. You got a little space here for a optical drive if you so wish, and then there's a big button over here that says P on it for power. So the case itself is pretty pleasing to the eye, I think, on the outside. I like how they do their VIVO or VIVO logo up here. I thought that was very nice. It's a nice gloss and shine to it. A little mesh down below for cooling to go into. So I thought that was pretty nice. And then on the side here, you of course got a little space here for a 120mm fan. You can also have a 120mm fan in the front on the inside. However, these are fans that are not here. So the one thing on the back of the case that I am not a fan of is they didn't really coat any of this black. It's just silver, so that's okay. And then the back PCIe covers are those pop-outs again. So you just push in, you pop them out, and you put in whatever you want. And then on the very back of the case, they actually have thumb screws at all parts for front and back access. So you can do a little bit of cable management. There's not a lot of room for cable management, so don't think about it too hard. And there's no way you're really going to be able to shove any of your PSU cables in there anyways. Anyways, let's go to the inside of the case. So before we open up the case, I want to say that when I went to the VIVO website and I looked up this case, I was looking at the pictures and I'm sitting there going, wow, there's a decent chunk of room inside this case. So I'm looking at the pictures, room for two SSDs and two hard drives, the things look good. But after I got it and I opened it up, I thought, wow, that doesn't look as much room as I thought. And so when I crammed everything as I could inside of it, there's really not a lot of room in here. So why is it that I say that there's not a lot of room in here? Well, the very first thing I noticed when putting this system together, I usually put my motherboard in first. When I put my motherboard in, I did not have room to put my PSU in. So I thought, alright, I will uninstall the motherboard, and I'll put the PSU back in, but look at this. I have just 2 finger lengths, not even 2 fingers of space between the PSU and where the optical drive would be. And by the way, when you do have an optical drive, guess what? The butt of the optical drive sticks out a little bit. So I do not know how they think you're going to be able to have a standard PSU and a standard optical drive in here. The only thing I can think of is you're going to have to get yourself a micro ATX PSU. And then with any PSU that you do get, there's not a lot of space behind the motherboard for there to be any cable management. So after I got just the PSU and just the motherboard in here, I decided, well, I really need to see how crowded it looks in here with just a single solid state drive, a single 2.5-inch drive, and then a 3.5-inch hard disk drive both on the top and on the bottom like they recommended. I have no idea how they think that any PSU is going to be able to power everything when the power connections are so far apart from each other. You would have to have just a whole separate cable just to power the supplies up here, as well as the SATA here and SATA down there. And if you're thinking, oh, just flip that little hard drive on the bottom around so that they're next to each other, you can't, because then there's not enough room to actually plug in your power or SATA cable. So I thought, well, this is getting pretty crowded pretty quick, and I still don't have a front 120mm fan. So to wrap up this video, the last thing I'm really going to say about this case is VIVO, you've made a pretty nice looking case from the front and the sides, the back not so much. I do appreciate how you guys have thrown in enough screws that I could actually mount everything in here, with the exception of I was 2 screws short from being able to mount my hard drive on the bottom. That's pretty good. So, and then I wish that VIVO did not call this a gaming computer case. And the reason why I say that is I think when you're first building a computer and you're going to use it as your main system, and if you're on a budget, what you're going to do is you're going to buy yourself your motherboard, your processor, you're going to get yourself a single solid-state drive, hopefully for your OS, maybe in the future, maybe down the road, and you're going to want to have yourself a single hard drive. And I think when you throw it into a system, you'll have space for that, and that'll work for you. I think this system could work if you don't plan to expand it any farther. I think if you do decide to expand it, that you're going to want to have yourself a graphics card, which that's perfectly fine. But once you start adding in the extra hard drives or solid-state drives, you're going to realize when you do decide to expand later on, which is what I do with most of my computers, is when you do decide to expand, because you're on a budget and maybe you can't get everything all in one go, you'll probably put in a single solid-state drive, a single hard drive. Maybe you'll have your graphics card to start, maybe you won't. And just having your single solid-state hard drive and graphics card, things are going to be kind of cramped. And then when you decide later on down the road to add another solid-state drive or small laptop drive, and then to add another hard drive in here, it's going to be very cramped. I have someone at my door, hang on. And so after you've crammed all this stuff in here, you're going to realize that your power supply probably can't reach to everything. And so what you're going to likely need is you're going to need some cable extensions. And if you plan on buying some cable extensions, then that's fine. But I don't find this to be friendly if you decide to expand past your single solid-state drive, hard drive, or graphics card. So if you decide to expand past that, I advise looking at another case, which is easier to expand in. Thanks for watching this video. Go ahead and leave a thumbs up or down, depending upon if you liked or disliked this video. Go ahead and tell me your thoughts by leaving a comment on this case or this video. And then let me know if you have this case, if you built an awesome system inside of it. That would be cool. Get a hold of me. I would love to actually throw a picture of what your system looks like in the next video, especially if yours looks a lot better on the inside. So go ahead and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, or go ahead and watch other videos that have already been posted by me. Thanks.